You've arrived at the Texas to Tennessee podcast, your home for your favorite independent artists and a couple of guys you've never heard of.
Who?
It was Texas, it was Tennessee. It was what I had coming to me. You were unlike anything.
What's up, everybody? Guys, we have
What's
Jive
up?
Mother Mary. We got Mason Keck with us.
Yeah, what's up, Steph? How you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. Hello, everyone in podcast land.
Yeah, we have a live audience, and we've got the chats pulled up here. So if anybody has questions, holler at us.
Yeah, please.
We're gonna chit chat and get into it. I'm super excited.
Let's riff.
I'm really pumped, Mason.
Same. Yeah,
This is kind of full
so
circle.
excited. Yeah, I know. Two Carolina folks, right? Yeah, are you originally from North Carolina as well?
I'm not originally, nope. But
Okay.
my music stuff started in North Carolina, so
Okay, that's awesome.
kind of claim there. I'm glad you got the memo about the t-shirts.
Yeah,
I'm glad that was clear.
the gray and black baseball tees, right?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
yours. I
my
gotta say, yours is cooler than mine, right? You know, Fame Studios is cool, but
had to
Jive Mother
represent.
Mary is pretty cool too, right?
Had to. Got this at the Lincoln.
That's right, Lincoln Theater. You know what? That is one of my favorite venues ever. I was actually literally talking. My dad is going to see Band of Heathens there this week.
Oh, perfect.
And man, we were talking about just that venue always sounds good. Every show I've ever seen there just sounds absolutely amazing.
Yeah, they've had the same sound engineer forever, and he's a G.
It's the perfect size too. You know, it's like just under 1,000 seats. I think it's like it's still a really good sized room, but it feels intimate. You know.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites ever.
Some of the coolest shows I've ever seen were at that. I saw, already going on a tangent here, but I saw
This is
saw
gonna be
Government
good.
Mule. I saw Government Mule in the street there. You know, they used to do. I think maybe they recently brought it back. They used to do it's Cabarrus Street there. They would shut down the street and they would do concerts in front of Lincoln. I saw Government Mule and Jason Isbell opened.
Oh, what?
He had just left the Truckers. I had no clue at all who he was. You know what I mean? He played. He actually played. I remember he played. He had a song called "Try." Still has a song called "Try," and he went into. They went into "No Quarter" by Zeppelin.
Nice.
Like at the end of that, it blew my mind. And they did a "Psycho Killer" by the Talking Heads.
Perfect.
Which I had never heard that song, you know. I was like, holy shit, this is what a good song this is, you know.
Nice.
And I later, of course, realized it was Talking Heads. But he promoted at that show that he was going to be back there like in 2 months or something. And me and Fluff, the drummer in Jive, we ended up going back up there, and Jason was the headliner. Hayes Carl was second on the bill, full
Nice.
band. And Shovels and Rope was first.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I had never seen Hayes or Shovels and Rope, and that was just like, what an eye-opening like triple bill that was. That was, yeah, I'm really thankful to have seen that.
They have some heaters at, I'm sure, lots of local venues, but the Lincoln has just got a special place in my heart. Kind of similar. I can say the same of just so many great shows, so many great lineups, perfect size room. Sound is always incredible. I saw you guys there twice, I think.
Oh, okay.
First time, I'll never forget. You guys are the band that I don't even remember who I was going there to see, but you were opening and had not heard, so was kind of baloneying, by the bar.
Yeah.
And I was talking and we were chit-chatting, and I heard like those twin guitars, and I was like,
okay.
Everybody shut the fuck up first. And I like just had to beeline to the stage, and I was just like, wow, I don't think I said a single word after that. I just stayed right at the stage, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a
big fan
of
the harmonies, the guitar harmonies, big fan
guitar
of that.
harmonies, yeah.
I put them in everywhere I can,
Yeah.
But yeah, Lincoln it's definitely got a special place in my heart. It's got some of the foundations of the band there. Some of the first big shows we ever did, we opened for Leon Russell there when we were like maybe 16. you know, and like honestly, I
Mhm.
was like too young at that point to like even really, you know, I mean, I understood I knew who he was, but I didn't understand who Leon
Right.
Russell was at that time, you know. And so there's some pretty cool things that I definitely have always tied to that venue. So it's
Yeah.
cool that that's where you saw us for the first time, you know.
Yeah. And that's it's in Raleigh, North Carolina, in case anybody's trying to figure out where we're talking about. The Lincoln
That's right. Yeah,
Theater,
we just keep talking about it. Yeah,
right?
we didn't
It's
say
right in
where it is.
downtown Raleigh. I remember I saw you guys for the who I think you opened for the Steelwoods too there.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember I didn't know who the Steelwoods were. I
Okay.
bought the ticket for you guys. And then
Okay,
it
that's
was like a
awesome.
reverse it was like a reverse game that time. I was like, when the
That's
Steelwoods
cool.
came out, I
Yeah.
was like, who are these guys?
Well, what a good find that was, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. So a couple times over there, and I remember just you guys have such a unique sound, and I think that's what is so captivating. It's nothing like, too trivial where you got to really like you don't have to think too hard about it. It's just good. It's just good,
Oh,
but it
well,
is
thank you.
definitely, unique, uniquely yours. You can't easily just name off 10 other bands that sound just like it. You kind of would have to make us like if this plus a little bit of that, there's
Well,
not
thank
really
you, thank you. You know, I don't know if that's a blessing or a curse. You know, sometimes people like to put you in a box, but I'm very thankful that you can hear all the influences
yeah, for
that
sure.
we have. You know, I mean, I love all sorts of stuff. You know, I kind of joke sometimes that like I don't know if we're a Southern rock band or rock band with a Southern accent. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean, like, you know, I love. It's funny, like I mean, I my goal for the last 2 weeks, like 2 Mondays ago, I sat down. I was like, I'm gonna learn every single guitar part on Second Helping by Leonard Skinner, you know, and then like, and I have been doing that also, but like 3 days in, I got distracted by a Badfinger record, you know, and they're the first band to get signed to Apple Records by the Beatles, you know, so it's like my heart lies just as much in the Allman Brothers and the Rolling Stones and stuff like that as it does, or at Allman Brothers and Skinner as it does in the Rolling Stones and the Beatles and like all that British rock, you know, like
Mhm.
the whole band just loves so many different types of music that we try to, we try to just incorporate everything we can, you know? So I'm glad to
Yeah.
hear that.
Yeah, it's very good. It's like, it's like you said, like, I mean, it's blue. It's definitely, it's all the things. It's blues. It's a little bit of funk. It's just like really driving melodies, but you have melodies built into the instrumentation too. Just very well done. It's very well done. Definitely have been on my
Yeah, you know,
playlists
thank you
for a
so much. You
while.
know, I mean, that's awesome. You know, I mean, melody is super important to me. I really like, you know, that's like we were talking about I talked about the British thing for a second there. You know, it's like that's like all those dudes kind of incorporated this like American roots music and then incorporated this like other type of like almost like, for lack of a better word, like pretty melodies over top of it
Mhm.
sometimes, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden
Yeah.
that's where you get some of that like that really interesting Beatles and all that stuff, you know, and that
Mhm.
stuff always definitely intrigued me just as much as the Dickie Betts, Duane Allman guitar harmonies, you know,
Mhm.
it's I've all and which again very melodic, you know, it's
Yeah.
funny, you know, I as a guitar player too, you know, like
A
I think a lot
fantastic
about
guitar player,
influences.
by the way. Very good.
Well, thank
Top
you, thank
top
you. You
tier.
know, I'm just trying to keep up with all my buddies. You know, that's
Yeah.
when you have friends that are amazing guitar players. You know, it gives you inspiration to stay on your toes. You know, but yeah, you know, it's so interesting, like having that perspective and like you learn the like I'll play a lick and like I said, I've been diving through the Skinner stuff and I'm like, wait a minute, I was just playing this lick in like a you know a Rolling Stone song or like oh wait a minute, that's an Eric
Mhm.
Clapton lick and you know you start seeing how your influences and like I guess then to you, you know, like where that stuff came from and like how they just took it and it's their, you know, the like a lot of the, you know, Gary Rosington Skinner solos to me are
Mhm.
like it's like him doing Eric Clapton. You know,
Yeah.
it's like and like I don't if you it's like you don't hear that at first, but then I think about it, I'm like, wait a minute. Okay. But that's his voice of that and it became
Right.
this totally unique thing, you know, and like it's it's cool to dive into that as a guitar player and also kind of analyze my guitar playing and see, oh, okay, this is maybe where I got this is where that came from. So I'm glad it reflects in the tunes.
Yeah, it definitely does. It's captivating, honestly. And it just leads to so many bangers because it's such a, different genres are built differently, but it's always there's I guess we're kind of touching country. It's like country, rock, blues.
Yeah, I mean, it's that as the Blackberry Smokes guys say, sometimes it's too country for rock, too rock for country.
Yeah.
And
But your
there
sound
is
has
this,
evolved for sure.
yeah, personally, I've always kind of had this like big divide of like loving to just like, take one of these and just like not even have a microphone in the room to just sit
Yeah.
there and like, some of my favorite, favorite thing to do is just talk about the tunes with like maybe 10 people in the room, you know what I mean, and do that. But like
Mhm.
balancing that out with also playing a Les Paul through a Marshall half stack. So it's like
Yeah.
we do dip our toes on both sides, and sometimes it's tough to cross that bridge, but we also try to do that, find that thing of like, I try to make even like our real rockin' tunes, I try to make the lyrics poignant or, at least like
Mm.
make you think about it. It's like AC/DC wrote all the great songs about partying and rocking and sex and drugs, so I try to put a little poignancy in the lyrics and the rock tunes, I guess.
Yeah, they're certified. Because
I
it's like
like
I
that.
remember I feel like I saw you the first time and you had I'm not remember if it's a full album or not. And then you put out that 8 tracks album and I remember being like, this is everything, like if I could just paint a
Okay.
perfect album of like everything I would personally want for this band to do and just to personally satisfy me is like what that album did. And I was like, oh, they
Oh, that's great to
Yeah.
hear. That's cool.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah,
you love to see bands. You're always gonna evolve, and you love to see whatever they bring. Whatever their artistic vision is. But it's like even better when it like perfectly lines up with your selfish wants.
right. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, it's always cool when you see your one of your favorite bands is releasing a new album and you're like, please
Hmm.
let this be as awesome as I want it to be. And
Yes.
then it doesn't disappoint. That's how I feel about. Have you listened to the new Sheepdogs record?
No,
Are you a Sheepdogs
I'm
fan?
not familiar with
That's
Sheepdog,
that's
so I
they're
feel like
been
I
one
need
of,
to write
they're
this
from
down.
Canada. Yeah, they're from Canada. They're one of my favorite new rock bands. But yeah, I've been seeing that they've been promoting a new album for a little while and it just dropped recently. And when it came out, I was like, yes, all right, is there everything I wanted it to be. So I'm
Uh,
glad to hear that 8 tracks was that.
yeah, that
It's
was that for me for sure.
8 tracks was cool. You were talking about the Steelwoods earlier.
Hmm.
Jay Took from the Steelwoods. He was playing drums with the Steelwoods when we started touring with those guys. We toured with them for like on and off. It would have been maybe the like basically 2018 into some of 2019.
Hmm.
So we had met those guys and kind of built a relationship with them. And Jay's a great engineer and he was working in a studio out here in Nashville. And side note, that was kind of one of the first times also coming out here and doing that record that I was like, oh, Nashville, okay, that's
Yeah, yeah, because you made the
that's
jump too. We both jumped from North Carolina over to Nashville.
absolutely, yeah. I've been out here like 2.5 years. How long you been out here?
It will be 3 years in like June-ish.
Okay, okay, so yeah, not far off. Okay, you beat me
Not
by a
too
little bit.
far.
But yeah, so
Mhm.
yeah, we recorded that with Jay, and that was like a COVID, a COVID project. Like that was when things like settled down and we were able to actually go do some stuff. We had built up a repertoire
Yo,
of songs and
COVID. Ugh,
planned. Yeah, that's a whole other hour of a podcast,
I
right?
know, right? We could just talk about that forever.
But that record was like such a cool release to do after we had like kind of been pin up. We had put a whole tour together. There's a band called Otis out of
Oh yeah.
they're out of Kentucky, out of Glasgow, Kentucky, and
Yeah.
We had like really worked hard on putting together a tour that started in March of 2020. So we got the first show off. It was in Knoxville, Tennessee. Got the first show off, and then I think we had to cancel, the next obviously 6 weeks of dates or whatever.
Oh no, we lost Mason. Well, we'll just have to imagine what I wonder if he's still chatting about it. He knows what to do. We talked about how to get back in here if we lost him, so we'll see if we can find him. But now you guys are stuck with me, so I'm just going to tell you about Jive Mother Mary. And he's not here to vouch. So, I can kind of just fill in the gaps here, and hopefully he agrees with everything I'm saying. But I'm so curious. I can't remember exactly when I saw them, but I want to say it was before COVID. And I think that's where I got this shirt. And then I saw them, well after COVID. And then recently in Nashville, I stumbled upon them and happened to be wearing this shirt in Nashville. And I was like, oh my gosh, there are my...
You there?
Yeah, I'm just telling stories over here. I was like, well, now's my chance. He's not here to defend himself.
To just talk the whole time.
Just starting rumors. Just starting rumors.
Oh, I would love to hear that. I guess I'll just have to hear the rumor. All right.
Yeah. It'll get back to you. Don't worry.
Okay. Is it a haircut? Am I getting my haircut?
I'm glad you found your way back in. See, good thing we had that talk.
I know. See, yeah. Hey, you laid out the instructions perfectly, and it was easy to get back in.
I had full faith.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. How COVID? I was like, I'm pretty sure the first time I saw you was before COVID, and then the next time I don't remember when the Steelwoods was.
That would have probably been, that was. You're right. That probably would have been post-COVID. After
I don't know.
We toured with those dudes for like on and off a lot in 2018 into 2019, and then like when they would come back through the Carolinas, we would play with them, And so it's very, very likely that we played there post-COVID with the Steelwoods. But
I saw you somewhere else. I can't remember. I remember what the room looked like. You had the keyboard guy with you.
Oh yeah, Rhett.
But I can't remember where. I want to say it might have been Kentucky. Somewhere I saw you. I can't remember. Very possible. Maybe Greenville. I can't remember.
Was it like a festival type date or?
No, it was like a ticketed show, and I don't really remember anything except for what the room looks like. It's terrible.
Okay, hey, that's all right. Yeah. We all do. We'd love to have Rhett when we can. Rhett's the man.
Yeah, he's killed it.
Yeah, Rhett was the one keyboard player our age from our hometown, and he just happened to be like the baddest dude on the planet.
The best ever.
So yeah, like it's nice when that happens, right? And I gotta say, like speaking on that, I've been so lucky my entire career that like Fluff was the first drummer I ever played with.
Love him, by the way.
And the dude's just amazing. You know what I mean? So like I'm just super lucky that like everybody that I kind of like lucked into playing with, they just they were awesome. So like it makes things a lot easier. But we still play with Red any chance we can. And actually the last things that we released. The live from Saturn 6 Studios. There's a few live videos. They're on all the streaming sites, but live in studio. That's Rhett's studio actually. That's he.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's him on keys, and he engineered all that. And
is that in North Carolina?
He's in Atlanta. He's been in Atlanta for well over a decade now at this point. Oh. Yeah, and he played with American Aquarium for a really long time. Also Carolina guys, some of them guys are Carolina guys. But yeah, so Yeah, Rhett's been in Atlanta for a while. Yeah, we still get him to play anytime we can for sure.
Yeah, he's very good. And it brings a cool. Just anytime you throw organ in anything, like he's just got it down. He knows the vibe. He
Well,
knows the assignment.
when you were talking about guitar harmonies, like there's nothing that like sets up a guitar harmony better than like just a nice bed of organ,
Yeah.
Allman Brothers style, you know what I mean? To just have that swirl, this like
Yeah.
ocean of swirl underneath, it's perfect,
Yeah. Yeah, he slayed. And then I remember I saw y'all at accidentally in Nashville. You guys were cosplaying, and I remember I
That's
was like,
right.
"Oh,
At Scoreboard, right? Yeah.
yes!" And I had this shirt on coincidentally, and I was like, "Just play an original, stop it."
That's right. It's I
I
love
need
that.
it.
You can
Give it to
request
me.
request originals there anytime you want.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
so
yeah.
good.
That's really fun too, though, to do we call it Cosplay Cowboys. We play there every Thursday and Sunday, and it's really nice to have an in-town gig that
Mm-hmm.
we know we're gonna do. It's a good thing for like anytime we want some friends to come out and jam. If there's ever anything you want to come sing, you let us know.
Hey.
you know. But yeah, it's a good vehicle for that, and we do it as a band. Our buddy Jeff actually plays keys on that, Jeff Howell. So it's cool, man. It's cool. It's cool to do that, and we sneak some originals in there,
Yeah.
especially when people show up in Jive shirts. You have to sneak in an
Yeah.
original,
I was
right?
like, this no way. I was like, this can't be happening.
That place, and that kind of speaks on all of Nashville. It's like that place is like kind of a hub of like, wait, I've seen so many people that I'm like, wait a minute, you live here? I didn't know you lived
Yeah.
here. And like, I mean, that actually, like I said, really speaks on a lot of Nashville. There's so many places you go to, and if it's not someone you know, it's somebody that your friends know. You're always kind
Yeah.
of one step away from somebody.
Yeah. I remember the Steelwood. I didn't realize that a lot of that band is in Nashville. And I remember just just cover gigs on Broadway. I remember seeing Johnny Stanton, the bass player, and I was like,
Hmm.
I know this guy. And then I saw that, and he was playing with the guitar player too, in a just, what you
Yep.
do between gigs. They're professional musicians. You work between the work. And
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't know why
And
that
Johnny,
didn't cross my mind.
Johnny and Tyler will both play with cosplay every once in a while.
I love that.
If
There's
they
just
used
so
to
many
play.
examples of that too. And then you were playing one day, guitar for someone at like a whiskey jam or something, bus call maybe.
Oh yeah, that's right. Actually,
And I remember
it's
being like,
funny.
wait a minute. I was like, are
That's
you guys
right. Yeah,
playing? They're
so
like, no, we're not. That's,
that's my good friend Maddie, and since then, she and our bass player Will have gotten married.
aw.
So yeah, it's funny. Like it's there's things that have happened since moving to town that I'm like, all right, this is where we're supposed to be. Like,
Yeah.
and just to make that long story a short story, because I'll make a long story even longer if you let me. But a friend of mine that I went to college with in California moved to Nashville probably 8-10 years ago. My buddy
Mhm.
Chris, he said, hey, I met this amazing singer. Her name's Maddie. We're starting a band. We need a bass player. Do you know anyone? Well, the only person I knew in Nashville happened to be a bass player from my hometown. So they started the band. They played together for forever and ever. And
Mhm.
so when I would come to Nashville, Maddie was one of the first people that I'd met in town. Well, fast forward to when our bass player Will moved out here, they met, fell in love, the whole nine. So
I
I
love
was like,
it.
oh, okay. It was cool that, you know what I mean? It was like, okay, wait, that's my friend. There's someone from our hometown and their band. You know what I mean? There's just all these
Yeah.
threads you know, that just felt cool.
Mhm. Yeah, I was definitely sleeping on Nashville a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Like I moved there, but I moved there kind of begrudgingly. I kind of outgrew some stuff in North Carolina, and some stuff went south for me with my band. So I was like, all right, we got to take a new direction here, and just kind of launched it. One of my guitar players had just moved out there, and he was like, you got to get out here, just trust me. And I was like, no thanks. I'm not going
Right.
to Nashville. No, I don't need none of that. But then, I kind of just got pushed that way, and I'm so thankful that I did. I really had such a negative view on something that didn't really deserve it, in my opinion. I found my people, you
Right.
know.
I mean, it's to be such a big community, especially such a big music community. It's a very small community too. It's pretty welcoming.
Very well.
And I know what you mean. It's like it's Nashville. It's like it's a buzzword sometimes. You know what I mean? In like a good way and a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
So I had actually. I mean, I almost moved out here right before COVID. I had considered doing that. And luckily I didn't because, I mean,
Yeah.
I will say one downside of Nashville, rent,
Good
it's no
gracious.
joke. So, had I moved out here before COVID, I probably wouldn't have stayed.
Yeah.
I probably would have went back home where it was, cheaper to live. And,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially at that time where you couldn't gig, you couldn't do anything but spend money to sit in your house. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm thankful that I moved when I did, and I'm super thankful too. Like I said, I don't know when I got cut off talking about that record, 8 tracks, but we had come out here, and that was like late 2020, early 21. We were coming out here to do that, and I just really fell in love with Nashville, and like it was the first time that I had spent any time there other than just like playing there and driving on the next city.
Right.
So it was even at that time, it was in the back of my brain of like, all right, I really do like this city. The first time when I was thinking about it in 2019 was just kind of gonna be feet in the fire diving in. But since moving, I've just found a great friend group, and I already had
Yeah.
a solid base out here. Fluff, our drummer, had already been out here he's been out here for maybe 4 years or something
Oh
like
yeah.
that. So, he had already kind of found some cool folks that he was hanging with. And like, like I said, I wasn't just jumping in blind. So I'm super
Yeah.
thankful for that too.
Yeah.
That always
The
helps in any
community is
situation.
incredible. It really is. Just all of it. I'm super happy that you're there now. It
I'm
works
happy
out
you are
great. It works
too.
out
Yeah.
great for me. Works out wonderfully for me.
Yeah.
Love
You know
love
what?
that
Me
you
too.
guys made it easy for me to see you around town.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad you prioritized me in your moving plans.
Well, I mean, it makes sense too. I didn't, it's right. Yeah. Yeah, we consulted, right. But until I moved out here, I never considered, how close you are to so many places out here. It makes total
Mhm.
sense that this was such a touring hub and like
For
such a
sure.
music centric place. I mean, you're 3 to 4 hours from so many huge cities,
Mhm.
and you can hit so many different markets. And I mean, North Carolina, where we're from, is kind of like that. There's
Yeah.
a lot of places to play. But when you're talking about you're 3 hours from Kentucky, Missouri,
Yeah.
Mississippi, Alabama, North Carolina, South, you know what I mean? It's cool, and it makes total sense once moving out here why it's just such a popular tour hub.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. When did you guys start like officially the band itself?
Oh man. So Jive started, this is our 20th year as a band.
20 years.
Yeah, I
Ah.
was I was actually thinking about this
Wow,
before
we should
we
have talked
got
about
on
this
this.
sooner.
Yeah.
That's a little nugget right there. 20
Yeah, yeah. Our
years?
first show was June of
What?
2006. Yeah, I was literally thinking about that before we hopped on this call. It was like it's it's been 20 years. Fluff and I
Wow.
started this band, and I mean he and I had been jamming for a year probably. We've been jamming since we were 13, and my dad played music, and he had been in bands growing up, and in his adult life. So and luckily all the bands he was in were really good. So like that's how I kind of got into it, watching him play and watching his bands. And so when it came time and we were like, hey, let's make some noise, like we
Mhm.
had good coaches.
Yeah.
So yeah, our first gig
20
was,
years.
yeah, we played at
Wow.
a teen nightclub called Splash in June of 2006. Yeah, it was we opened up the show with Living After Midnight by Judas Priest.
Let's go.
So yeah, little different than what we do now, right?
Yeah. Dang,
Yeah,
20
20
years.
years. We should maybe book a 20-year anniversary
I
show,
was just
right?
gonna say you have to have like a 20-year, like you have to have some kind of celebration. That's
You know,
like
we
that's like
really
more
should.
rare than a marriage lasting 20 years. Like a band,
it is pretty
Staying
rare.
alive for over 5 minutes is insane.
And I mean, the thing that I have been so thankful for with Jive, and something that's really important to me, is that like everybody that's been in this band has been like it's somebody I grew up with, or somebody that's like been influential in my life. You know what I mean? Like that's
Mhm.
really important. And like, I mean, there has been member changes throughout the years. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like I said, me and Fluff
Yeah, over
started.
20 years, I would imagine.
Yeah, we started as a power trio, um, and our friend Schultz played guitar with us for. I mean, shoot, he played with us for 12, 13 years.
Mhm.
And when we moved to Nashville, his entire family's down in Florida. So he just, he moved back down towards Florida when we moved
Mhm.
out here. And but to have three members of a band be there for 13 years, I'm just so lucky to have that. And again, to be like my best buds, it's like
Yeah.
it makes the travel and stuff a whole lot easier. You know what I mean? It's like there's
Yeah.
none of this like, because like they always you know the thing that's the rule of three. You got like the money, the hang, or the music, and you got to have two of the
Mhm.
three, right? And like, well, luckily we write the music, so I hope we like it, and we
Yeah,
know the hang's good. The money ain't always good, but we always know the
right.
other two out of three is going to be there, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, that's super important to me, and I'm thankful that we've been able to do that for 20 years. It's
Yeah.
it's been a lot, seen a lot of things in 20 years, really.
I
It's been
know.
interesting.
What could you what could now I gotta see like what's like in a 20-year span, do you have like like a top three highlight reel of just things that were just
Uh, you
memorable to
know,
you for whatever? I'm sure there's like 100 bazillion moments, but
it was there's a lot, there's so many things, it's like funny, like crazy. I'll give you some like recaps of like awesome moments, and then things that are like, okay, it's so crazy that you wouldn't believe it,
yeah,
but like, I mean, we've gotten to go to Europe twice. That's like that's as cool as it gets,
yeah, that's
I mean,
crazy. Yeah.
to be able to like something that you created and something that you and your buds did when started when you were 13, 14 years old, and it takes you to several other countries, and I
Hmm.
was literally just telling a friend earlier today, it's like when we did that, we got to go, like, we went to the big cities in Europe too, but we actually got to go to these like smaller towns, and like I got a chance to explore places that I would have never in a million years known to explore,
Mm.
and I mean, it's just like so thankful for things like that. And another like big moment, I remember it's been several years back now, but we opened for Foreigner, and
Nice.
that was like a I for some reason that was like a not so much for me, but I could tell like people in my family, and because like that was a band that
Oh.
they recognized from and like my immediate family has always been like, I don't want to say anybody's never been not supportive. Everybody's always been super supportive of the band and everything, but I could tell that was like they're like, oh, like,
Mm.
okay, like they're playing with these guys, like that's this is a thing. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, that's their band. you know
Yeah. Oddly
I
enough,
could tell that.
I think I
Yeah.
met your mom, which is awkward to say. But I think she was at your show. She's very like very
Oh,
she's a hype
I'm
squad.
sure she told you. I'm sure she told you
Yeah,
that
super proud.
she was there to see us, and like, I mean, I can't state how thankful I am that my dad and my mom supported me so much
Mhm.
for just doing this. I mean, it's not many parents would believe in you enough and trust you enough to go
Yeah. And
play
music is
bar
a hard
gigs,
sell. Music is a hard sell.
It is, and when you're 16, 17 years old, and you're like, you're playing, every Thursday at a bar in town till
Mhm.
1 a.m., but you still have to be at school, like, and like to give me a chance to do that, and like to trust me to do that, that's like, I
Yeah.
can't thank him enough for that, And also, I sucked it up and I went to school and did the thing. You know what I mean? I didn't. That
Right.
was my end of the bargain. So
Mhm.
I tried to uphold my end of the bargain. But yeah, it was interesting balancing all that back then for sure. But the third most memorable thing, you asked for three things, I gave you two. The third most memorable, and this one's crazy. We were playing at a bar in Murrells Inlet, South Carolina,
Mhm.
and this woman comes up to us. We had played our first set. She comes up to us at set break and she's like, "You might not recognize me, but I play lead guitar in a little band called AC/DC." And said, "Okay, no, Angus, I
Yeah.
didn't recognize you, And like, so clearly this woman, she's just on this rant about how she plays lead guitar in AC/DC.
Mhm.
And she comes up, like I said, we're at set break. She comes up to us with a blank piece of paper and she's like, "Hey, you just signed this contract and we're gonna take you on tour with us next year." And so we're like, at this trying to avoid this woman. Well, we get back playing our second set. We get on stage. The sound guy steps out of the sound booth to go take a phone call out in front of the club. Well, as soon as he closed the door to the club and walked out, that woman jumped in the sound booth and grabbed the mixing console by all the cables from the snake were plugged in the back and just picked up the mixing console and started shaking it. And it sounded
What?
like you were inside a speaker cabinet, like at full volume. Like it's just like every frequency feedback you could think of. Like it was like it almost looked like a cartoon. Like you could look out and you could see like everything in the bar just like shaking like it was an earthquake, We literally had to go flip the breaker.
Oh my
There was a
God.
breaker box like right there off the side of the stage. We went and flipped the breaker because that's the only way we could think to like end what
Just
was
a whole
going
new
on.
level of
But
crazy. Yeah, a whole
yeah.
new
So
level.
you asked the three things. Like I
Yeah,
said, for
just
some reason that one that was
to
the third thing that popped in my head when in 20 years that was one of the three things that popped in my head. So Lady
Yeah, that's
Angus, wherever you are, you've stuck in my brain for 15 years now.
I wonder if there's other people that have had that experience. Like I wonder if this is like a serial guitar. I don't even know what you'd call
Yeah,
that. Like a show hijacker.
nobody warned us about the lady that likes to tell bands she's Angus Young. It's like, hey, by the way, this woman's gonna tell you she plays in AC/DC. That's like the if you heard the Todd Snyder Bill Elliott story.
No.
If you haven't heard that, you got to look that
All
up.
right,
But
well, Google that one too.
yeah,
Goodness
put
gracious.
that one in the comments below.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Well, what do you guys? So you've been all over the place. We're have talked about how you got a 20-year span, which kind of that hit me. I knew it had been a while, but yeah, the 20 years. I was like, oh,
It kind of hit me earlier too when I was thinking about it. It really did. I was like,
that's
oh my
crazy.
god.
I was like,
Yeah, and
dang,
you know what? I'm glad you brought it
already.
up because I'd already forgotten it. I'd already
Yeah,
forgotten to casually
we're
slide it
so
in there.
old.
Right.
Our short-term memory is just lapsing.
That's right.
How
Yeah.
many years did you say?
Yeah,
But
it's
so
the
you have
age. That's why our
you have
short-term memory's bad.
three. Is it 3 albums out? You have probably more than that at this
We
point.
have, let's see. So we have 3 full-length albums and then we have 4 EPs.
Yeah, that's
So
crazy.
yeah. So, I mean, I guess we'll just call this 4 EPs, 2 other albums,
Yeah,
I
right.
guess. But, and yeah,
That's
we
cool.
got some last year we released 4 singles as well. We didn't really group
Mm-hmm.
them in like an EP type thing or anything,
Mm-hmm.
we just kind of released 4 singles. So there's, you got to, unfortunately, streaming spots, you kind of have to like seek that stuff out. They don't put it up top, it's like
Yeah.
if you release, there's a whole game that I have not figured out to all that stuff. So
If they could just fill us in on what is going on, that would be great. I feel like every
well, I
time
think
I
they want to.
release something, I'm like, I didn't do this right, I'm pretty sure. And I've got, a few things out now. Like, how am I?
Right. I'm
Not
always
figuring
one
it out.
cycle behind, you know. It's like you have to like they're changing the things to like keep people engaged, and I'm always like, oh, this is how everybody is doing it, but it's how everybody was doing it one cycle ago, you know.
Right. Yep, that's
But
how it is. I would say my favorites, Hope It Ain't That Bad. That one's probably my number one. Numero
okay,
uno. I like that one. And
I can tell you
I
some
like
fun
the
facts about that song.
I like the road song.
Okay,
We
yeah.
rolling all torn and tattered.
You know what? I mean, that one's true, right? You know.
Yo, I think about that every time someone says nacho fries.
And there you
All I
go. You
wanted
know,
was
yeah,
nacho fries.
that's right. Yeah, hey, sometimes that's all you
Here come
need,
a
right?
Taco Bell.
Yeah, but yeah, you know, hope it ain't that bad. I wrote the chorus to "Hope It Ain't That Bad" sitting in line at the bank. There was so there was a hurricane that was like on the coast of North Carolina. It was
Mhm.
supposed to be, you know, supposed to be really bad, and as that one was like a day or two from touching land, another giant hurricane was coming in right behind it. So there was this
That
possibility
figures.
that these two huge major storms were going to hit just like one after the other. And so I go to the bank to like we had done some shows, you know, so I went to the bank to deposit the checks, and I get to the bank and the line is like wrapped around the building because everybody else is worried just like I am that these storms are going to hit, trying
Mhm.
to get everything done. And so I'm sitting there and I'm just, you know, I had the radio down. I'm just like, hope it ain't that bad. You know, I
Mhm.
was thinking, damn, I hope this ain't that bad. You know, like one,
Yeah.
this line at the bank, I hope this ain't that bad. And two, like I was seeing like everybody else around was like, oh, okay, everybody's like kind of in panic mode. I hope this ain't
Mhm.
that bad. And from there, you know, it just that one kind of wrote itself. You know,
Those are isn't that
it's
the best?
yeah, and you know, I mean, it's about a storm. It's also a little bit, you know, of an allegory of inner turmoil there. You know, it can be
Mhm.
about that if you want to look at it like that, you know. And Road Song number 17 is the proper name. We call it the Burger King song.
Yeah.
Uh, if anybody out there knows anyone at Burger King, you know, I'm your man. Uh, but yeah, you know, we wrote that. That's more or less a true story. I always shout that song out to Flora, Illinois. It's a
Nice.
little town in southern Illinois, and we used to
That's good
play up
to
there a
know.
lot. Yeah, we used to play up there at this place called Johnny and June's, and basically, like I said, that song is word for word the truth for that kind of weekend on the
It
road. You
is. I
know,
think I've played it for like every tour I've ever been on. We just gotta listen to it one time. It's just like you guys gotta hear this. As
well,
you're
it's
trying
everybody.
to.
You know, everybody's been there. It's like, what? Okay, we're 6 days into this. Are we eating
Mhm.
the Taco Bell? Or are we going to Wendy's? You know, what
Yep.
gourmet restaurant do we want today?
Yep.
You know, so we've
I was
all been
like,
there. You know,
good God Almighty, look at
that
me
one
now.
that one's
I'm
fun to
in
play. You know,
victory.
that one's got a good groove. That one I enjoy playing that riff. You know, that's the thing. As a
Ow,
guitar
ow,
player,
ow, ow, down, down,
yeah,
down, down,
you got hey, if
down.
you can hum it, then it's a good one, I think, right?
Yeah.
But you know, as a guitar player, like I've always tried to make our tunes fun to play and like, you know, I mean it's easy to
Mhm.
like if you play stuff night in, night out, it's easy to get bored playing it, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like I try to like write riffs that are not like tricky for the sake of being tricky or something like that,
Mhm.
but that are interesting and catchy, but are also fun to play and like you kind of got to stay on your toes to do it. You know what I mean? If you
Yeah.
that's what
Well
it's like,
said.
especially like Good God. That's one of those tunes where if
Good
you
God Almighty,
yeah, if you start thinking about what you're
look
gonna,
at
you
me
know,
now.
you start thinking about what catering's got for you after show in the middle of that one, you're gonna get lost on that one. You got to pay attention, you know.
Heck yeah. Well, speaking of all your songs, do you have any like is there anything on the horizon for 2026 or 2027? You guys got anything?
Yeah, we actually went into the studio fairly recently to cut a couple tunes. We're going to be just cutting some tunes throughout the year. You know, I'm sure we'll do a little releasing of some stuff, but working towards releasing the whole album. You know,
Mhm.
we're putting it together when we can. You know, one of the things about moving to Nashville that's been good and but also kept us from maybe doing a full record is we've been busy. You know, we've been
Yeah.
playing so much, you know, with Jive, and like Jive has also been backing some artists and stuff. So
Mm.
we've just been so busy on the road and doing that type thing that we're just finally now getting a chance to go into a studio. And we went, our good buddy CC, he's got a studio out in Hendersonville, Bear Snake Studios, and
Ooh,
we
that's
went
a
out
cool
there.
name. Bear
Yeah,
Snake
yeah, yeah. He,
Studios.
I think I'm trying to remember. He saw. I think that the thing is, he saw a bear and a snake in the same day in a hike or something like that. Yeah. But
Oh
so
yeah.
yeah, we went out there, and you want to hear a new tune?
Yes, I do want to hear a new tune.
Okay, so this is this is a song about my pup that is no
Perfect.
longer with us. She's no
Oh.
longer with us, unfortunately. But again, you know, one of the things, like I was saying earlier, one of the things that I try to do lyrically, like we're talking about Burger King song, is like
Mm-hmm.
it's important to me to write stuff that's hits home to me, but also is like, you know, just things that all people understand, you know.
Yeah.
And I have a tendency to write sad songs that are not slow and minor key songs, you know.
Perfect.
So this song is called "Baby Please Come to Me."
Ooh, okay.
Baby, please come to me. If only in my dreams, I'll be waiting for you there with a smile. We can run wild and free. We can do anything. Won't you please just stay a while with me? I tried sleeping in hopes of dreaming, but these thoughts keep creeping in, and it breaks my heart, breaks my heart, breaks my heart that I must close my eyes to see. Baby, please come to me. I tried sleeping, hopes of dreaming, but these thoughts keep creeping in, and it breaks my heart, breaks my heart, it breaks my heart that I must close my eyes to see. Baby, please come to me. Years go by, I'm no better off than I used to be. Tell me why time just slips on by way too easily, easily. Baby, please come to me. If only in my dreams, I'll be waiting for you there with a smile. We can run wild and free. We can do anything. Won't you please just stay a while with breaks my heart. Breaks my heart that I must close my eyes to see. Baby, please come to me. If only in my dreams. Yeah.
Let's go. That was beautiful.
Hey, thank you so much. That
Did
was
you say
for
what's
that was
your
for
what's the
Sweet
name?
Marcy. That was for Marcy. Yep. Yeah. That one
Oh,
always, I hate to say it, but that one always tricks people. I'm like, I wrote a song for my dog. And everybody's like, yeah. And I'm like, who has passed away? And then, yeah, it's like, it's the double-edged sword, you know. But I
right.
mean, yeah, that's what songs are for, you know. You got, like I
Yeah.
said, that's a universal experience. That's a tough thing that I'm not the only one who's had to deal with that, you know. So
Yep. I think
if you
that's
can write a song about it, that's always good therapy, you know.
you got it. You got it. Big facts. Did you say you're recording that one or you already did?
We just recorded that. Yeah, like I said, we were doing a couple batches of tunes throughout, you know, throughout the next little bit, and that was one of the first batches we did. That one, we've had that one in the pipe for a little while. You know, we recorded that, or not? We recorded it very recently, but we've been playing that one over the course of the last year or so, working that one out. So
Nice. We've got
yeah.
Star on YouTube is watching live. She said she loved it.
Oh well, thank you, Star. Thank you so much.
Hopefully we got some new Jive Mother Mary fans in here. This is my whole plot
Yeah.
here.
That's what
They
it's
were
all
like, "Do you
about.
want
Yeah.
to guest host on our podcast?" And I was like, "Can I pick the people?"
Hey, I love that. You know,
And
that's
they're
what it
like, "You do
takes.
whatever you want." And I was like, "I'm 100% in." So now I'm just trying to infiltrate the internet with all the cool kids, you know?
Well, that's what it takes, you know. It's like we always talk about we're a grassroots band, you know. Like we
Hmm.
like to like meet people face to face, and like I'm so thankful that you reached out to us for stuff like this. You know,
Hey,
this is what it
yeah,
takes. It's like it's small community, like especially in a world where music is such like a disposable commodity, and like it's so hard to find. It's so easy and so hard to find music, right? Because it's so accessible. Then there's so much music out there
yes,
that like stuff like this that like really builds a community, and
yeah,
like people that listen to you guys and they know that you're a trusted source of news for
right.
upcoming artists, right? So like
We
so
don't
they
bring no
know that
bullshit around here.
Texas to Tennessee podcast bringing you
We don't mess
all of
around.
this. Yes, yeah, you know, yeah. So they, you know, but we're laughing about that. But for real, you know what I mean? People know if
Hmm.
you're bringing an artist on here, they can trust that it's going to be pretty good. So that's like
Yeah.
that's what it takes. It's cool that stuff like this is a thing, you know.
Yeah, I love the podcast stuff because I feel like, back in the day, the radios used to have a lot of power and they're kind of have lost it. But I still love listening to like local. Nashville's a great example, but there's tons of smaller radio stations that still curate their shows. Like a person
100%.
handpicks the show for the night, and for a reason, and they're picking. They're always looking for new artists or looking for music that fits their thing. But podcast is the same way. You curate and you pick and you we'll do the looking, the searching, and we'll bring it
Right.
forward. And
And
yeah,
I think you're right. I think it's so cool that podcasts like something has had to step into that role of like what
mhm,
terrestrial radio did, right? You know, and
yeah,
like that like terrestrial radio is so important to the development of like my like musicality, and like I
yeah.
feel like anybody honestly like I'll be 34 on Friday. So like
Oh, happy
any
birthday!
thank you. Yeah, you know, so like anybody that's like my age or like older, and I mean I'm sure there's some people that are a little bit younger, but like radio was so influential on
Mm-hmm.
like what you listen to, and like even more so like, you know, like the generation before us, like regional radio was
Yeah.
such a thing. And like I think stuff like this podcast is really like it fills the void that regional radio left when that wasn't a thing. You know, there's so
Mm-hmm.
many bands that like it's funny, like growing up in North Carolina, there's like the band that comes to mind. Have you ever heard did you ever hear people talk about Nantucket?
Yeah.
You know, they're like, they were a North Carolina band, you know, and they like, I mean, they had some like success, but really they were a pretty regional band, the Southeast. You know, I think about like bands like that or Mother's Finest, who are
Oh
from
yeah.
Georgia. I think about bands like that, and you know,
We lost Mason. No. Oh, Mason. You know, we got to keep it interesting. I think he's just doing it for the plot at this point. He maybe I'm being trolled. He just cuts himself off. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Well, I'm not in any hurry, so I'll wait for Mason to come on back. But I love that you guys are here. I love that Star's on here, hanging out on YouTube. I realize for whatever reason it's just gonna be one of those nights. It's just gonna be one of those nights. I love it. If you guys aren't familiar with Jive Mother Mary, you should be. These are, I know, right, Star? But this band, in case you are tuning in just now, 20 years together. 20 years together. And, you know, there's just not that many bands that can say that. They're working hard. They have been working hard the whole time. And it's really cool to see them grow over time. And for me, maybe that's why they got a little soft spot for me. Is they're, for me, one of those bands where I get to say I knew them when it comes to Jive Mother Mary. And it's always cool to just have folks like that, you know, in the, yeah, right, you got excited. It's always good to see bands like that just grow. Because when you find bands that you love, like we talked about a little bit here when Mason was on, it just is so hard to keep a band together. It's a lot of.
There we go. All right. Sorry.
Hey, oh, we started
Sorry.
some more rumors.
Okay. Hey, you know, that's
We're
all right.
fine.
They'll get back around. It's just a big game
Yeah.
of telephone. Nashville's a small town, remember?
That's right. It is. It is.
But yeah, I was ranting on about terrestrial radio, you know.
Yeah. And I noticed too, like when it comes to podcasters too, they kind of back in the day, like they would go to like a clip of the artist, like whatever, Johnny Cash on the like Tonight Show, and they'll show a clip of him, whatever, promoting his new stuff or what have you. And now it's like clips from podcasts. If you're keeping up with pretty much anybody, it's a lot of clips from podcasts where
Oh, 100%, yeah.
you know, so it's cool to see that growing. And what's cool about that is it kind of gives the power to the people again. I'm sure eventually it'll all be monopolized, maybe one day again. But right
Well,
now,
you guys are the new like what's the playlist coordinator, I guess would be what we would call it now. I don't know what you would call it. There's a term specifically for it in radio, but you know, the people that pick the artists and pick, you know, what's on there, you know, program coordinator, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe program coordinator, but yeah, you know, I mean, that was the thing, like I was saying about regional radio. It's like there were artists. That's how Bob Seger was famous as can be in Detroit for years before he ever broke nationally. You know what I mean? You had artists like that, and now you don't see that anymore, obviously, because terrestrial radio is not that big anymore. But what you do see is that thing like we were talking about of like this podcast, you know, like people come to this, they know like, hey, I can trust this as a source of like pretty good music,
Hey,
you know.
thanks for saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, yeah, you use that as a soundbite, right?
Yeah, right.
Texas to Tennessee, your trusted source of new music.
You can probably trust us.
You can probably trust us. But yeah, you know, I think that's awesome that podcasts have filled that role, and and I love to talk about music and anything in general. So I
me
love
too. I love this. It was cool. Yeah, as soon as I figured out stuff, which I also was sleeping on, is just like social media in general. I started to just get frustrated and figure out how to have decent quality sound and video for social media stuff, because it's marketing at the end of the day. And I'm like, how do I make this look better? And it's like, I guess that's on me. I guess I gotta be the one that figures that out. So
it does
but as
make
soon
a
as I
difference.
did, it was like, hey, do you want to help us with this? Now that you know you're tech savvy enough to be here, that opened so many doors for me to do stuff like this, which I just never would have an opportunity to do if I didn't take the time to figure out audio and video and stuff like that. So it's pretty
Yeah,
cool
feet in
to
the
see.
fire, right?
It's pretty cool to be a part of it and to be able to like what's most rewarding for me is being able to bring some folks that I know are great forward and just I get to sit on my podium and tell everybody about all the bands I like.
Well, I'm glad we're one of them.
Yeah, no, I love you guys. I've loved you guys since the gate, and I'll never forget that first show. I'm just seeing you guys, and just I think I left my bar or my beer at the bar and everything. I just was like, bye. I need to
Don't need
go.
this
I
anymore.
need to go listen to this right now, and I just didn't leave the stage, and I was like, what the heck is happening? I just
That's
was not
awesome.
prepared for that level of good. It
Well,
just
thank
so
you.
good.
Thank you. That
And
means a lot to me. Thank you.
that was probably 5 or 6 years ago now, I want to say.
Yeah,
So
it's probably been that long, it really has been. It's been, yeah, we put out a couple, couple records since then, honestly.
yeah.
I think actually, the first time you saw us at Lincoln was maybe we had just recently put out an album called The Long Odds. I think we had
Maybe.
either just put that record out or we were about to, and then we've put out 8 tracks since then as well. So yeah, it's been a lot of stuff happened since then. I mean,
Yeah. And you
mainly the
were
move
that
to
good
Nashville, and
then.
well, thank
You're
you.
welcome. Yeah, because there's the thing at time in musicians, if you're working during any amount of time, musicians, you just see the evolution and the polish on different artists, and they get inspired by new things, and you can kind of watch them grow.
Yeah, and
So,
you get to figure out what you want to do. It's funny. It's
mhm.
like another good thing about the way that music has changed is that it used to be like, there was almost like this time limit on things.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, if you're not this like young kid, your window has rapidly
Yeah.
closed. And I mean, obviously, if you're 50 or 55 years old or something, it's going to be tough to get into it. You know what I mean? But it's
Well,
like,
it depends on what genre too.
that's true. Yeah. But I mean,
Some,
yeah, by and large, it's social media and just the way the game has changed has like completely changed the playing field for all that. Like, there's no longer this time limit of like, or any pressure of like, oh, I got to get like all this done. I got to get this done in
yeah.
this time, or like I'm running out of time. It's like I feel like because artists are now kind of in control of their timeline, both your actual Instagram and Facebook timeline, right, and your actual artist timeline, like
Yeah.
it's up to you to figure it out, and there isn't that like that pressure of like, oh, I got to do that, I got to get this time figured out, there's this time constraint. And
Mhm.
it's like you were saying about the podcast thing, it's I think one of the scary things about the music industry nowadays is that by and large it's up to you, the artist.
Mhm.
It's like you kind of have to step up to the plate and do these things, and
It's
like
the double-edged sword of the century right now in the music
it really
industry.
is,
Sure.
and it used to be like there was obviously these like huge just piles of money that people had to burn to throw at the stuff, and then it used to be it seemed like the problem was being one of the ones that got picked to have the money thrown
Yeah.
at them, right? And now, it's like obviously there is still some of that, but it's like a lot of that is
Mhm.
out of play, you know what I mean? It's like it's up to you to find your market and build it. And it's like
Mhm.
the playing field's kind of leveled by social media, like for
I
better or
think
for
so too.
worse. So if you figure it out and figure out how to do your thing and be genuine, and that's the hardest thing about social media to me is I know I've got friends that are so great at it, and like that they're great at it because it's genuinely them. It's like it's
Right.
hard to be genuine in a social media world, and
It's
to
tricky.
find a way to rep yourself like in a way that feels like you, but also is like, hey, well, we're a good band. Come see us. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's hard. It's hard to toe that line. It is.
It's hard. Someone said to me that musicians struggle with social media specifically because when you're playing out, you're looking at other people, and it's easy for you to just play and get promos or someone get a video of you playing because you feel you're just at your spot. But when you yourself as the artist are like looking at your own face, trying to edit something or like say something, you can't take your own self serious enough to like
Yeah, it's the same
get
as
it
listening to
done.
yourself in
And
the
it's
studio, right?
yeah.
It's, it's like when you hear yourself in the studio, everything becomes real permanent. Or when all of a sudden
Yeah.
this video is like this representation of
Yeah.
you, and it might be the only representation somebody sees of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hopefully they
That's a good
follow
point.
you. Hopefully they follow you and they see multiple things you do, but there's a likely chance that that might be the only time anybody sees you.
Yeah.
And there is an art to it. It's funny. Like I made a video the other day to talk about we're going to North Carolina this week. We got 4 shows in North Carolina, and I made a video this past week to talk about it. And the first 2 takes I took of it, I was like, oh, this is good. And then I went to upload it, and you could only see like this much of my face. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't even see my hair. And I was like, oh my God, like that's like maybe shock value. That's good.
It's
You know
so
what I mean?
relatable.
Yeah, it's funny, like little things like that you just never thought you'd have to do. But
And it all looks so easy. I think that's the part that gets me. I'm like, how do you guys get these edits in here? It looks so simple when you have all this like overlays and
there,
everything looks nice
yeah,
and these nice little transitions. I'm like,
there
no,
truly is an art to it. It's like, I mean, it's like playing an instrument. You see somebody that's like, you don't realize how tough it is until you see somebody that makes it look
yeah.
so easy. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But yeah, there really is an art to it. And
It's true.
finding your, I think a big part of that I'm not good at is finding something where it's like they see the video and they know it's you. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And that's a whole other world. There's like this. I could go on forever about
Oh, I
this.
know we could talk forever about
I
and
mean,
but that's
my usual example with that is like Kiss. Like, could you think about like Kiss's whole concept was no one knew who they were.
mm,
You know what I mean? Like that was their whole thing. They wore makeup and nobody. You could be shopping beside them at Kroger and you didn't know that was Gene Simmons. So like imagine that in today's world.
yeah.
Well, how do you take videos on Instagram and let people know where you are and what you're eating for breakfast if nobody knows who you are?
Yeah, you'd have to
You
just be
know?
in costume. You'd have to full regalia your whole
Yeah, it's like the
social
game
media.
has just changed. People want
Yeah,
to know.
yes.
It's like people. It is interesting. It's like as artists, it becomes more than just like music. You know what I mean? Like people want to know like a lot about you, and that's it's a blessing and a curse. I do think a part of a cool part of a lot of the music that we all grew up listening, be it Waylon Jennings or Led Zeppelin, is there's some mystery to it, or Hank,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like think about the mystery surrounding Hank Williams, you know what I mean? It's like there's so much. I think sometimes the mystery is a big part of what makes those artists so cool. So I
Yeah.
do think that is a downside to social media. Sometimes it takes away that mystery of the artist.
Yeah, true. Good point.
But doesn't
But
matter.
we
It's
don't want to be
2026.
mysterious. We're entertainers at the end of the day.
That's true. Yeah, it's
You know?
2026. You gotta get with the times, right?
Yes, come see us out in these streets. Speaking of, you
That's
said you
right.
have a few shows where this North Carolina this weekend. So
Yeah,
April,
we're
what
heading
weekend is
back
that? April
home.
17, 18?
Yeah,
Where are you
we're
at?
gonna be in Black Mountain, North Carolina, on April 16th, this Thursday at Town
Nice.
Pump Tavern. Yeah, it's a cool spot. It's just like a classic dive.
Love.
It's yeah. When you go in there, there's going to be good rock music.
Heck yeah.
And then not Sunday. Friday, April 17th, we are in Cary, North Carolina, at Bond Brothers East Side. And then Saturday, we are in Farmville, Virginia, at North Street Press Club. Yeah, little town, just a little bit south of Roanoke, I believe. And then Sunday, it's kind of a private event, but it's not really a private. It's kind of half private, but it's actually that's in our hometown in Elon. We're playing at an old place we used to play all the time. We're playing at the Fat Frog for an event for one of our good buddies.
Oh,
And
nice.
we're going to be doing some jive tunes, and then also we're backing a good friend of ours, Drew Faust, for a set of his. You know, that's something that we've been doing a lot with jive too. That's been awesome. Is like since moving to town, you know, there's singer-songwriters out here that do their thing and do it well, but they don't have a solid band or a permanent band, you know. So it's easy when you're a rhythm section, guitar, bass, drums, to be like, oh well, hey, instead of, you know, trying to find 3 different people to go do this, how about you just hire the band, you know?
Yep.
So we've been doing some of that too. That's been super fun. That's like, that keeps you on your toes, you know. It keeps us like
Plus you
as
can
a
just
unit.
learn, meet new people.
Yeah, it makes all sorts of connections. You get to play new music, and like that becomes influential on what you're playing, all sorts of stuff.
Oh, I love it. Do you have anything else exciting coming up? So we've got a slam packed Thursday through Sunday weekend in North
Yeah,
Carolina.
4 days this week. Let's see. In May, we're going to be. In May, we will actually be. We'll be in Franklin, Tennessee. In May, we're doing an event called the All Nashville Roadshow, and we will be backing our buddy Charlie Argo at that. So that'll be cool. We're doing that in Franklin, Tennessee on May 8th, and then I think we're outside of Huntsville the next day. We've got just random things sprinkled throughout. You know, we've got a really cool festival we're doing in August up in Illinois called Smoking Irons.
Oh, nice.
The band Feels on there. Sam Morrow is on there. Andy Thomas, Ben Chapman's on there.
Nice.
A lot of really cool bands on that one. We're stoked on that one. We're going to be playing again with our buddy Charlie in July, playing on a show with Marcus King. So yeah, you know, just cool things like that, you know, stuff.
Where's the best place to find it? Do you have like on your website is a full list of shows or social media? Where's the like best spot to find all the shows?
Yeah, if you go to jivemothermary.com, you can find anything on there. All our socials are on there. You know, we have, you know, obviously Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, all that stuff. You know, we don't get into like Twitter and all that. We're like base level social media, you know.
Yeah,
but
I feel you.
But yeah, anything on the website can direct you there. And also, again,
nice.
You go to our Instagram, Spotify, wherever. They're all interconnected. But yeah, you know, like I said, we've been in the studio recently and just planning on recording batches of tunes throughout the year. So just keep your eyes open for that, and you know, new music. And yeah, we're going to be. Well, I'm sure we'll be in town sometime soon.
We've got someone in the comments. Star said she can probably do the Franklin show maybe, and was asking, where are you playing at the outside of Huntsville show?
Okay, so that event is she'd have to look it up online. It's called All Nashville Roadshow. And that's not a jive show, but we are backing our friend Charlie Argo as a band. So and that is, one's in Franklin. The actual venues, I'm not 100% sure. And Star, I'm pretty sure the other one's outside of Huntsville. Don't hold me to that 100%. But if you go to All Nashville Roadshow, their website, it'll tell you exactly where those events are.
Heck yeah. Perfect. Well, it sounds like you might have a new friend out here going to come say hi to you someday.
Awesome. Yeah, please do come say hi at the show.
Yeah, they're super nice. And they have great shirts.
Hey, that's right. Yeah, come get a shirt.
I figured, you know, you really couldn't get a better model, you know, really.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Coming soon to our website, right? Like the wind's blowing your hair back. You can see the shirt first.
I'm going to do a photo shoot in this shirt just for the cause.
There we go. Hey, that's what we need, right? Grassroots, like we were saying, we need everybody involved.
That's what I'm saying. Yo, I do that at venues too. I don't know. Do you ever go to venues where they have like they run their like sound system off a tablet or an iPad or a laptop?
Yeah.
I always hack I do audio too, so I'll always hack the Spotify playlist or whatever they have and just plug in the homies and follow and favorite and add it to all the house music.
Oh man, I love that. Yeah.
It's like guerrilla marketing. It's my way.
Guerrilla marketing, that's right.
My way of like spray painting the walls, you know?
You know what? And that's like an absolutely harmless way
That's
to
what
spread it, right? You know, they never even know, they didn't even have to do anything. And
I love it.
you helped them and they didn't even know it.
Yep.
I love that too.
Yep. That's my move. But all right. Well, I want to give you kind of a last power hour here of the any last minute shout outs to for shows, new music coming out, anything you want to just throw out there to the world to anybody who might be missing, who might be listening or might be listening later. Because as a reminder, we're live right now on a few different platforms, but this will all be posted on a show here later, so folks can tune in and check you out down the road too. So if there's anything you want to
Awesome.
toss out there to the universe, I
Well,
will.
shout out to you first off for having us. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Yeah, it's awesome. I love talking about stuff like this, and thanks for repping the band so
Of
much. You know,
course.
it's always cool when a friend reps the band, and like
Yeah.
when we see it in the wild, you know, it's like I was like, oh, she actually does wear the shirt. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, you
It's
know.
true.
Yeah, so that is really cool. Thank you very much. And
Of
yeah,
course.
you know, like I said, just pay attention to the socials and Spotify or wherever you stream, not just Spotify, obviously, you know. But yeah, check out the website. We're playing a lot. We're staying busy. We're going to be releasing new music, so just keep your eyes peeled for stuff like that. If you're in North Carolina, you know, the next 4 days, come see us. Black Mountain outside of Asheville, Cary outside of Raleigh, Farmville just south of Roanoke, Virginia. And then, yeah, Sunday in Elon as well. So come see us. Come be our friend. If you can't make those, just find the website and come see us somewhere else. I
Yes.
don't think you'll be disappointed.
You
And
won't be.
Steph will give you your money back if you are.
It's true. It's true. I'll stand on it. I'll stand on it. You can also find all their music on streaming platforms. They are killing the game streaming. I just looked at these numbers before we
You know
hopped
what?
on here.
It's funny.
Brother,
I'm scared to look. I need to look
you're killing
because,
it.
well, thank you. You know,
There's
I swear I really had the thought like an hour ago that I have not checked those numbers. Well, not an hour ago because we were on this, but an hour before we started this, that I hadn't checked those numbers in so long. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I just won't check
brother,
them.
you have like 3 songs that are chilling somewhere around the 200,000 stream mark.
Well, that makes me feel good. Awesome.
Yeah, and a lot of your other songs aren't really that far behind. So you
Well,
guys are
great.
that's not nothing, you know? I'd say
Well,
I
that's
don't know if musician to musician hits different because it is so hard. It is so hard. So like you guys should be really proud. I'm proud. I'm proud. I get to flex that I know you. So thank you
well. Thank you
guys.
so much. You know, it's it's a crapshoot in today's world. You know, so we just try to do what we like, and like, you know, I mean, we just try to be. Only thing you can do is be yourself and be authentic to yourself. You know, be what you is, because if you ain't what you is, be what you
Mhm.
is, because if you be what you ain't, then you ain't what you is.
Ooh.
You know, and that's you know, I mean, that's kind of what this band is. We just do what we do, and we enjoy the music we play, and we try to write what we love, and we hope that you guys dig it too. So
I love it.
that's about it, you know.
Well, thank you so much, Mason. I just want to say thank you too to the Texas to Tennessee platform for allowing me to hang out on here and hijack your platform with my homies and spread the good wealth of good music out here. So thank you for everybody that tunes in and supports Texas to Tennessee. And for anybody who doesn't already know Mason over here, he is the singer, guitar player, and a good part of the bones over there at Jive Mother Mary, the Jive Mother Mary band. You can find him on all streaming platforms, all the show information. He said best spot is website, but they're all over all the platforms, is of course. And well, with that, Mason, I want to thank you for taking your time to hang out with me and with us and our platform over here to talk about music and talk about some venues and talk about exciting things. All that is just so important. And a big part of our community is just the full circle of it. So thanks for your end. Thanks for our end. Thanks for everybody tuning in. And glad to have this little music family here and have you be a part of it.
I'm glad to be a part of it. Thank you so much. Thanks, Texas to Tennessee. Thanks, Steph, and thank you guys for listening. I hope to see you soon.
Of course. Oh, you said we've got comments in here. You've got a new fan, they said out here. So
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks, YouTube.
We'll
All right,
see you,
guys. Well,
yeah.
Mason, don't hang up. You guys will see you next time. Cheers, everybody.
See you guys.